Wait, let's set the scene. The year was 2001, November. And the excitement around the premiere of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, yeah, here in the U.S. it was just electric.
It really was. And our sources, they talk about it almost like an old-fashioned news event, you know? Pre-September 11th style, it landed when the world was, well, still pretty shell-shocked by 9/11, but hadn't quite grasped the whole war on terror thing yet.
That context is so important, isn't it? This film, coming out 4 years after the book, it wasn't just another big movie.
Yeah.
It really felt like the birth of, well, a new pop culture titan, something huge.
Absolutely. A real contender to like Sherlock Holmes or James Bond, those kinds of enduring legacies. And the fact that it got re-released 20 years later into such a different world, it just shows its staying power. It's incredible.
Indeed. So for you listening, our mission today is to really dive deep into what made this first Harry Potter film such a phenomenon.
Right.
We're going to look at the story, the characters, that amazing casting, the production, how it made it to $1 billion eventually.
Yeah.
That journey.
Yeah.
What critics thought, and its lasting impact.
Yeah.
Even with all the debates around the creator these days.
Yeah.
The goal really is to figure out why it's still such a powerful, captivating thing worldwide.
Okay.
So let's start broad. How does something that starts as just a book become this massive commercial empire, this IP Shangri-La, as one source calls it?
Well, that's what's so interesting, isn't it? Harry Potter's popularity, it wasn't really cooked up by some huge marketing machine initially. It actually started grassroots.
Right.
You know, from a book, one of the oldest kinds of mass entertainment there is. The popularity came first, then the big marketing push. That's pretty rare. Shows a genuine connection.
Right. And the appeal of Rowling's books themselves, I mean, our sources all agree it was instant.
Yeah.
And huge. She created this hero who's just so intensely likable.
Yeah.
And the writing style was sort of free and easy, mixed adventure with like light drama and comedy.
It really walked that tightrope, didn't it? Never taking itself too seriously, but also avoiding, you know, outright self-parody. That's a tough balance.
Super tough.
So given that strong start with the books, the next big challenge was obviously getting it onto the screen. How do you adapt something so visual, so beloved, when millions of people already have these pictures in their heads?
Yeah, the pressure must have been immense.
Well, the approach they famously took was do things by the book, like really stick close. A ghostly, faithful adaptation was the goal, to deliberately connect with those existing fans.
Makes sense. And just as a quick refresher for anyone, or, you know, it's been a while, the film introduces us to Harry, living under the stairs with the Dursleys. Pretty miserable life. Until Hagrid shows up on his 11th birthday. Boom. You're a wizard, Harry.
Classic moment.
Totally. Journey to Hogwarts meets Ron and Hermione. The whole wizarding world opens up. And that first year is all about protecting the Philosopher's Stone from, well, Voldemort. They face Fluffy, the three-headed dog, Devil's Snare, Flying Keys, that amazing wizard's chess game.
Yeah, all those iconic set pieces.
Exactly. Learning about bravery, friendship, all that good stuff. So, with that faithfulness being key, the next big question is, who do you cast? How did they bring these characters to life so well, especially when everyone had their own ideas? I mean, the sources hammer this home.
Yeah.
The casting was absolutely fantastic. They just nailed it. Crucial.
You know, casting leads is always tricky, but for a series meant to last years with kids,
Oh, yeah.
our sources talk about finding those three terrifically young actors, Radcliffe, Grint, Watson. That was pivotal. What was the thinking there? Choosing these unknowns to carry this massive thing, what were the challenges?
Well, you know, looking back, while maybe some critics were divided on their acting right at the very start, it's kind of hard now to picture anyone else in those roles, isn't it?
Impossible.
Emma Watson especially was often seen as the breakout star early on, but the sources say the young actors, they sort of relied more on enthusiasm than technique in that first film, which honestly kind of worked. It felt real.
Yeah, it had charm.
And what really helped balance that was the adult cast. I mean, just a who's who of British actors.
Yeah.
That lent instant weight, you know, credibility.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Richard Harris is Dumbledore.
Yeah, and apparently he only took it because his granddaughter threatened to never speak to him again.
Great story. And Maggie Smith, Robbie Coltrane. Rowling apparently insisted on Coltrane for Hagrid.
She did. And Alan Rickman as Snape. Wow. Even with not much screen time at first, his performance. A masterclass, they called it. Playing that emotional poker, creating this character you love to hate. He kind of stole the film.
He really did. It's amazing how that whole ensemble, so diverse, made these quirky characters feel so real. What was it, like the secret sauce there? How did they avoid making it too broad, too pantomime?
Well, the sources point out they avoided that sort of broad style of British acting, which could have killed it. It seems like they knew exactly how far to push it, just to this side of too much.
Right. Vivid but believable.
Exactly. Kept the charm, kept the humor, but made you believe in the world.
Okay, let's talk about building that world. The look and feel of it all. How did the production team pull that off? It was a huge task, right? Doing full justice to the book without making it, I don't know, too cute.
Yeah, it needed grit, and that's where Stuart Craig, the production designer, was absolutely key. It's pretty cool that Hogwarts Castle was actually based on Durham Cathedral, gave it that real historic feeling.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And a little detail I love. In the first films, all those floating candles in the Great Hall, they were apparently real, actual candles hanging there until, safety concerns meant switching to CGI.
No way. That's amazing attention to detail.
Totally. And that commitment ran through everything. The Great Hall, Diagon Alley, mixing practical sets and effects with makeup. It just established the universe so effectively.
And what about the special effects? I mean, okay, some of the early CGI, maybe the Quidditch stuff.
Sure, yeah, by today's standards, maybe a bit shaky in places. That happens.
Yeah. But the sources praise how exuberant the computer effects were for the time, making the impossible look plausible.
Right. And for people who love the books, seeing things like Quidditch or the chess game or the Devil's Snare visualized so faithfully, that was a huge win. It looked like they imagined it.
Definitely. And you can't talk about the atmosphere without mentioning the music.
Oh, John Williams, absolutely. Hedwig's theme is it's fantastic, isn't it? Lived on for so many years.
Instantly recognizable, gives you goosebumps still.
Mm-hmm. And beyond the theme, just the whole sound design, the chatter in the hall, the crowds cheering, it all adds so much life, makes the wizarding world feel so vivid.
Yeah, it really pulls you in. It's not just a movie, it's like a whole world with its own magical rules and great players in it.
Which brings us to maybe the bigger question. Why? Why did this film and the whole series become this timeless global thing, resonating with everyone, kids, adults? What's the core appeal?
Well, it's interesting because, yes, it's fantasy, obviously. But our sources really praise how it blends the magic with the everyday kids going to school, doing homework, having teachers they like or don't like.
Right, normal stuff.
Exactly, just like our world, but, with an admixture of magic.
That realism within the fantasy, it lets people, especially kids, identify with the characters, makes the magic relatable somehow.
Yeah, grounded.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how it taps into these really basic human desires. It's not just good versus evil. It's about belonging, finding your tribe, maybe having a secret special identity.
Yeah, overcoming the odds.
Exactly. And discovering this hidden world. It's powerful. It's more than just escapism. It sort of validates that feeling that there's something more out there. Our sources say it satisfies these ancient desires, exploring depth of space and time, raising big ideas, but in a way that's accessible.
And beneath the magic, the themes are pretty profound, aren't they? Like the main message is about, getting on with life instead of just dwelling on dreams, the mirror of a rised scene.
Mm-hmm. Powerful message.
And obviously friendship, good overcoming evil, bravery, selflessness. These are big universal values.
And critically, it really stresses human connection. Yeah. Harry's brave, sure. But he doesn't win alone. He needs his friends.
Totally. Ron sacrificing himself in the chess game.
Yeah. And Hermione figuring out the Devil's Snare.
Pivotal moments.
And Dumbledore points it out, right? Harry was protected by ancient magic, his mother's love. It underscores that connection, love, friendship. That's actually Harry's greatest weapon, not just being the chosen one. He's the connected one.
That resonates. Okay, so think about how it's lasted.
Mm-hmm.
What does all this mean for its success over time? I mean, nearly 20 years later, August 2020, the film crosses $1 billion worldwide. That's nuts for a 2001 film.
It's pretty amazing. And connecting that to the bigger picture, a lot of that push came from re-releases, especially in China. They re-released it in 4K, IMAX 3D, right as people were starting to go back to cinemas after the COVID lockdowns.
Timing.
Right. And the head of international distribution at Warner Bros., Andrew Chrysis, he noted that its popularity with new moviegoers there just proved how truly timeless and universal these stories are. It wasn't just nostalgia.
And it's way beyond just box office, too. Our sources call the franchise a cultural powerhouse. Still, theme parks, toys, and now this upcoming TV reboot on Max.
Yeah, that's happening.
And it pulled, over 40 million views on Max? Nearly 20% of their subscribers watched it. That's a huge, consistent audience.
And what's really striking, I think, is that even with, the creator being caught up in that whole acrimonious gender politics debate.
Right, the controversy.
The franchise itself, commercially, culturally, it seems to have just kept going, maybe even grown. The world, the characters, they seem to have taken on this life of their own, almost separate from all that, which says a lot about the original story's power.
So we've taken quite the journey here, eh? A real deep dive into Philosopher's Stone. Looked at how it got from book to screen, the characters, the casting, the visuals, the sound. Those timeless themes and that incredible journey to $1 billion and beyond. It really cemented itself as a classic.
It absolutely stands as a piece of film history, no doubt. It set the stage for everything that followed. And it proved that great storytelling, if you adapt it well, can create this whole world with its own magical rules that just keeps pulling people in.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you to maybe chew on.
Yeah.
The first Harry Potter film was very deliberately made as the start of the series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It took its time setting things up.
Definitely. Building blocks.
So how does knowing that a movie is just part one of a bigger saga?
Yeah.
How does that change how you watch it? Does it affect how you feel about the pacing or the character arcs? Does it make the world building feel richer because you know there's more coming? Or does it maybe risk feeling a bit incomplete at the end of just that first film? Something to think about.